Yeah, we've got, at least we've got one.
Yeah, we go. But if you want to show up, you want just to sign the notes and talk about it.
We're gonna have the other people come in.
Yeah, if you know all of them.
No, I don't.
Okay,
Okay,
I'll email them.
okay, thanks.
4th of July long holiday weekend. How good it is to be with you all. Will you join me in our gathering litany? As we gather for this time of worship on this 4th of July weekend, let us do so with peace on our minds and peace in our hearts. Let us dream. Let us dream of a loving, peaceful world where all men have worth and dignity, and where we see each other as though we are looking at one another through the eyes of God. Let us dream of a resourceful world where we cherish the unique gifts of one another. Let us dream of a hopeful world where we recognize the grace of healing and forgiveness and the ability for those things to transform us and make all things new. In the wake of this 4th of July holiday, let us dream of peace and freedom for all people. And may our dreams and God's dream of freedom, hope, peace, and love come truer than ever before. Hey, why don't we rise up in body or spirit, sing a beautiful hymn for this weekend. You'll notice the words are a little bit different in this one. It comes out of our UCC New Century Hymnal, but I think they're really beautiful words, and I hope you enjoy them. So let's rise up in body or spirit and sing 4 verses of How Beautiful Are Spacious Skies. Seated. I don't know about you, but I like those words, huh? Yeah, a little more holistic, you know, a little more global looking, a little more casting our eye out to the world. Happy 4th of July weekend, everybody, and good morning. A special welcome to any visitors that we have with us in person here or online. We are delighted to have you here. If you're in person with us, just go ahead and sign our friendship book. We're keeping the gathering space so we can keep you apprised of the many happenings that we have going on here. And if you are online, just send a note, real easy, to office@faithucc.org, and we'll get you on that same newsletter list. And if you are online with us, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share, depending on which social media platform you are on. I think we're going to add a few more soon. We're going to add maybe Instagram, Twitch. Is anybody here on Twitch? Does anybody even know what that is? Snapchat. Anybody here on Snapchat? No one on Snapchat. There's no one, yeah, because there's no one under 20 here. I think that's, or a few of them. No, there are some. I bet there's some. I know there's some young ones in back there on Snapchat. They just don't want to raise their hands. Anybody on Facebook? Still smaller. So we're going to look at broadening out our kind of our offerings online, because if we can stream to like 10 places, we might as well do it. And anybody on TikTok? Any TikTokers out there? Oh, a couple TikTokers are brave enough to raise your hands in this day and age, huh? With TikTok getting banned everywhere. And I guess we're on Twitter too, yeah. Now we don't like Twitter these days. Yeah. So we're going to stream all over the place. So our online folks, we're delighted to have you here. And really in the last week, we have really popped. I mean, with our that banned book library out there, I don't know if anybody saw this, but it went viral. I mean, the Patch picked it up. Two big Dunedin pages picked it up with 13, 14, 15,000 followers. So we have had our biggest social media week, yeah. So keep sharing stuff around, because it just helps bring in people online, and a lot of folks discover us online, and then they come here they brave it, and they come in here to check us out in person, and we love that. So, or they join us online from all sorts of other places. So that is really exciting. Again, I just want to say thanks to all those who helped with the banned book library. It is still standing today, so it's still there. And my hope is that it's going to become a community thing, and I think it already is. There's so many books in there right now. There were only a couple the other day. So I think that from what the online folks are saying, people want to come here and add their books. So, when they ask, can I add books, I always go check out their Facebook page to see, kind of where things are looking, what kind of books you're going to want to put in there. So it's really cool to see that it's growing like it is. So that is exciting. We're going to kind of just jump right on into the service, because I want to play, this. I kind of wavered, but I'm like, no, we're going to play it. I'm going to play an excerpt from Frederick Douglass's speech. If you've never, read or heard any of that speech, I think it's called "What is the 4th of July to the Slave?" He wrote it 70, after slavery was so ended. And this is read by a bunch of his ancestors, which is really cool. And if you have never read Frederick Douglass's speech, What is the 4th of July to the Slave?" you should go and read it today. Listen to it, read it. There's a beautiful version with James Earl Jones reading it out there. I mean, who doesn't like to listen to James Earl Jones read anything? I can listen to him read the Bible and probably get through it, He should come with all how you go to IKEA and you get a bunch of instructions? They should have James Earl Jones read everything, so you listen to them all.
I think that's actually available.
Is that available? That should be. All right, someone send a note to James Earl Jones. Is he still alive? Okay. Okay, that'd be really hard to do then. Don't send a note to James Earl Jones, because apparently he's not alive anymore. So, but that'd be pretty cool. AI, yes. But there is a version of this out there with him reading it, and it's really powerful. So, with what happened in the nation this week, a lot of you are upset as I am, with a couple of Supreme Court decisions that really just, overturned precedent, and from Roe v. Wade last year to, gutting affirmative action in universities and colleges this year, and, more horrible wars on our LGBTQ sisters and brothers, about who can be served and who can you deny to serve, and it's the slippery slope, and it's opening the doors to a lot of discrimination out there. So I thought, what? I love this country, and I'm going to talk more about that in our sermon, but god dang it, this country gets it wrong a lot of the time, and we should never be afraid to call it out. That's what we're supposed to do as patriots. And so this is a bit of calling out from Frederick Douglass, and a beautiful speech by his by his ancestors. So I hope you do enjoy. It's about 6 minutes, but it's really powerful. Happy 4th of July, everybody.
Do I look there or there? Okay. Okay. My name is Alexa Ann Watson, and I am the great-great-great-granddaughter of
Frederick Douglass is my
I am the great-great-great-granddaughter of Frederick Douglass.
I am the great-great-great-grandchild.
I've been counting on my fingers since I was like 5.
Whenever you're ready, here we go.
This is the 4th of July. It is the birthday of your national independence and of your political freedom.
Fellow citizens, I shall not presume to dwell at length on the associations that cluster about this day. The simple story of it is that 76 years ago, the people of this country were British subjects.
Oppression makes a wise man mad. Your fathers were wise men, and if they did not go mad, they became restive under this treatment.
With brave men, there's always a remedy for oppression.
They succeeded, and today you reap the fruits of their success. The freedom gained is yours, and you, therefore, may properly celebrate this anniversary.
Fellow citizens, pardon me. Allow me to ask, why am I called upon to speak here today? What have I, or those I represent, to do with your national independence?
Are the great principles of political freedom and of natural justice embodied in that Declaration of Independence extended to us?
I am not included within the pale of this glorious anniversary.
Your high independence only reveals the immeasurable distance between us. The blessings in which you this day rejoice are not enjoyed in common.
The rich inheritance of justice, liberty, prosperity, and independence bequeathed by your fathers is shared by you, not by me.
The sunlight that brought life and healing to you has brought stripes and death to me.
This 4th of July is yours, not mine.
You may rejoice, I must mourn.
Fellow citizens, above your national tumultuous joy, I hear the mournful wail of millions.
At a time like this, scorching irony, not convincing argument is needed.
Oh, had I the ability and could reach the nation's ear, I would today pour out a fiery stream of biting ridicule, blasting reproach, withering sarcasm, and stern rebuke.
For it is not light that is needed, but fire.
It is not the gentle shower, but thunder.
We need the storm, the whirlwind, and the earthquake.
The feeling of the nation must be quickened.
The conscience of the nation must be roused.
The propriety of the nation must be startled.
The hypocrisy of the nation must be exposed.
And its crimes against God and man must be proclaimed and denounced.
What to the American slave is your 4th of July? I answer, a day that reveals to him, more than all other days in the year, the gross injustice and cruelty to which he is the constant victim.
To him, your celebration is a sham.
Your boasted liberty an unholy license.
Your national greatness, swelling vanity.
Your sounds of rejoicing are empty and heartless.
Your denunciations of tyrants, brass-fronted impudence.
Your shouts of liberty and equality, hollow mockery.
Your prayers and hymns, your sermons and thanksgivings,
With all your religious parade and solemnity, are to him
Mere bombast.
Fraud.
deception,
Impiety.
and hypocrisy. There is not a nation on the earth guilty of practices more shocking and bloody than are the people of these United States at this very hour. Allow me to say in conclusion, notwithstanding the dark picture I have this day presented of the state of the nation, I do not despair of this country.
This speech was written almost 170 years ago, but there are I mean, this part of it is still extremely relevant, especially with today's protests.
I think that when people are oppressed, they feel silenced, and if someone feels silenced, they get angry. There are certain tactics that you need to use to get people to really hear your voice, and it's not always going to be just like a very calm discussion.
I think he's mostly talking to the people who are already on his side, but believes that they can still try to talk this out, or that things are still justifiable. I know a lot of people at the time were saying, and people now are still saying, that it's not as bad as it could be.
While the 4th of July probably does not feel the same to me as it does to others, I wouldn't say that it has no meaning, because it is the time when America as a country became free from another country. But I would say that it's not the time in which I gained my freedom.
He had a lot of hope, especially for his age. And like, I'm getting to the point in my life where I'm only 20 years old, but I'm exhausted. Like, I have these thoughts like, will we ever really get to this point? Or is this really something that we should actually spend our time fighting for?
Somebody once said that pessimism is a tool of white oppression, and I think that's true. I think in many ways we are still slaves to the notion that it will never get better. But I think that there is hope, and I think it's important that we celebrate Black joy and Black life, and we remember that change is possible, change is probable, and that there's hope.
That was pretty powerful, wasn't it? You know, the young man has said, I'm only 20 years old and I'm exhausted. I mean, think about that. I'm 20 years old and I'm exhausted from having to deal with the injustice, the threats, the racism. I mean, this was filmed right after George Floyd just a couple of years ago. So, yeah, if you have a chance later, go and read that. You know, Frederick Douglass was a freed slave for many years. Went on the run in the North, hid out, and then eventually became, you know, a very important voice in Abraham Lincoln's ear and many other ears. So a really important American. If you're looking for a great book on him, David Blythe won the Pulitzer Prize for a biography on Frederick Douglass. Just came out a couple years ago. I'm reading it right now, and it is fantastic. So if you want that information later and you want to have a good summer read, go ahead and pick that one up. Hey, let's take a couple of moments here and just breathe. You know, the end of Frederick Douglass's speech, a man who had seen so much pain, was, I have hope in this nation. I have hope. He concluded his speech with a poem by William Lloyd Garrison, all about hope, about breaking the yoke and about hope in this nation. So let's hold that in our hearts this day, and times that might also seem turbulent for us. Let us have hope. Let's breathe in a sense, a spirit of hope deep into ourselves, and try to let go of some of that exhaustion that so many of us carry, that anxiety that comes with that. And breathe in a sense of peace and joy, because it is a joyful day. We celebrate freedom. And breathe out any sense of mourning and fear that you feel. Let it go in this time. We just don't need it. And let us tap into that Spirit of God that is so powerfully swirling in this place and within the hearts of each one of us, and connecting us all together in a grand sense of peace. And let us be ever deeper and journey ever deeper into worship together with Cynthia and her voice. That was really beautiful. Thank you. You know, it's our first Sunday without our choir, you know? So thank you, Cynthia, for just helping us remember how special music is to us. So, and a lot of our choir folks are in the congregation, and I didn't do this last week. We should give them a big round of applause for all they've done for us. And for Mark and Carolyn's not here, for our music leadership, and just thank you for all that you, and our strings and things up here when they're getting rolling, and Tom on the trumpet. I mean, it's really awesome. It's beautiful music here. We make beautiful music together, don't we? We really do. So it's something to celebrate this day. Quick scripture reading today, and really that Frederick Douglass could, speech could stand for it. But I was going to read this one on the 4th of July from 1 Timothy. Forgive me for using 1 Timothy, but this is a good one that comes out of 1 Timothy. I always like these words around the 4th of July. So it reminds me of some other words that were placed on parchment long ago. First of all, then I urge you that supplications, prayers, intercessions, and thanksgivings be made for everyone, and for all who are in high positions, so that we may lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and dignity. I'll read it again. First of all, then, I urge that supplications, prayers, intercessions, and thanksgivings be made for everyone, and for all who are in high positions, so that we may lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and dignity. I like that word, dignity. It's important in these times. So I just want to take a moment, and not that I really need that, but take a moment and wish you a happy and happy and safe 4th of July tomorrow, holiday tomorrow, and into Tuesday. Well, tomorrow and into, it's a long weekend, right? I mean, come on, let's be honest. This is a 4-day weekend. Is anybody working tomorrow or in all reality? Yeah, everybody's off. Yeah, well, maybe one or a couple of people, yeah. Well, we're going to celebrate as a long weekend anyways, and I want to wish you just a blessed and safe, however you're celebrating it, holiday. And I hope the grills are hot, whatever you're doing Tuesday. Hope the hot dogs or maybe the barbecue ribs are tasty and the fireworks are grand if you're into celebrating the day in that festive way. And I just ask one thing for next week, that you please come back to church with all of your fingers. If you're planning on doing any fireworks, please come back with all of your digits. That would be fantastic. That's all I ask. Other than that, have fun. Have a great 4th of July. Personally, I love the 4th of July. I'm never here on you know that? I don't know the last time I've been here. COVID, I was here on the 4th of July. I'm never here on the 4th of July to celebrate with you. This is a rare treat. But I do love the day for what it signifies more than fireworks, hot dogs, barbecue, ribs, and car sales and furniture sales. For truly, it's a day that more than any other invites us to reflect not only on where we have come from as a nation through remembering our struggle for independence, but perhaps even more importantly, is a day to accept the invitation to continue to dream a future that is still unfolding, a future of freedom and opportunity and justice and human rights and equality for every person, for every race, every religion, every creed, every culture, every gender and sexual orientation. The 4th of July reminds us of the freedoms that we do enjoy as a nation, freedoms that, let's be honest, many other nations do not, and also the freedoms that we should be able to enjoy as human beings, freedoms in terms of the recognition of our God-given and inalienable right to be who God created us to be, without fear of harassment or oppression or reprisal, or in this day and age, denial. So the 4th of July it's just a day to revel in that, and we should celebrate this holiday to the fullest. Now, having said that, I know every year there's a debate raging. It's nothing new. It's that the 4th of July or really many of our secular holidays, well, they should have no place in a worship service. Don't even mention them in some cases. But in this case, with the 4th of July especially, it's really deeper. For as the old saying goes, especially for liberal Christians, you're a Christian first and an American second. And as usual, the debate has its origins generally, where? On the extremes of the spectrums, right? On the right, which one's my right? This is my right? On the right hand of the spectrum, the right side of the spectrum, there are today, this very day, there'll be large flag-waving processional worship services with God Bless America belted out by giant choirs all wearing red, white, and blue. The whole service will be bathed in flags in red, white, and blue, and some now are even concluding their services with their own fireworks displays right after worship. Ours will start at 11:30. So that's the right end of the spectrum, right? The left end of the spectrum, well, the mere mention of bringing the celebration, even mentioning the word, the phrase 4th of July, and it's this Day of Independence, even bringing it into a worship setting is a serious betrayal of what it means to be Christian, and especially, well, maybe not these days, but especially truly of the Jesus way and of a progressive Christian way. Now, personally, with so many things, I never find the extremes, extreme ways of approaching this holiday and our worship, all that helpful. Extreme right, extreme left, so many other things too. And yet, and I'll just make an admission, as you all know, I stand, as the great Brazilian bishop and tireless worker for the poor Dom Helder Camara once said, and this will shock no one, I stand as one whose heart is a little to the left. He said, right hand, left hand, they all belong to the same body, but the heart is a little to the left. That's my admission before going any further. I'm now on record. You're all shocked, I know. What? No idea. And I have to admit, the warnings against marrying the church and patriotism and the cross really have a lot of merit. I mean, let's face it. The gospel of Jesus, the Jesus way, was not on friendly terms with empire as Christianity emerged early on. It was, in fact, really a running critique against empire as Jesus and the gospel writers would have known it until it became empire, later on. But that's not how it started. And the gospels, they make a very specific argument that there cannot be two lords. There can't be two lords, Jesus and empire. One is Lord, and the other, well, is not. And in the case of Christianity, the Lord title is certainly not to be equated with a nation, an empire, but rather with the one who is for us the ultimate critic of all nations and all empires, Jesus and his way in the world. Let's be honest, it's hard to deny that we, these United States of America, we do fall in the category of empire, right? And we have run counter gospel so many times in our history. We have a history that ask Frederick Douglass, we have a history that cannot be denied, nor should it ever, no matter how hard certain political groups in this state especially would like to just make it all go away. Don't teach it, don't mention it, ban it, just put it all away, it never happened, we're all good. Think about that. Everything from conquering native peoples, decimating their populations, to enslaving black human beings by the millions and then denying them their basic rights to equality, or supporting dictators and markets and ideologies that have crushed the poorest in our global population, or being complicit in the reality of corporate greed over and against our natural, beautiful world. We could go on and on. Empire. If we're honest with ourselves, well, this is part of our history, as Frederick Douglass reminded us so powerfully in that clip that we played, and we cannot flee from it no matter how hard we want to, how hard we want to hide it, how hard we want to try. We are an empire with all the fixins, not just in the past, but still right today, in the way we still treat African Americans, And the myth of equity, and thinking especially again of that affirmative action Supreme Court ruling just a couple days ago, or our LGBTQ plus friends and loved ones also with another really hurtful court decision, discriminatory court decision last week, or how about 1 year ago thinking of women, with the gutting of Roe, established precedents over women's rights. And my God, not to mention that we're a nation right now obsessed with, again, banning books. Where'd this come from out of nowhere? Or boycotting beer companies, for God's sakes, that support trans folks, or regulating genders and pronouns, and attacking businesses for expressing themselves the way they see fit, I guess. Thinking of Disney on that one, who, you may or may not be a big fan of anyways, but corporate greed. Sure seems that when it comes to these United States of America, there's a lot to be critical of these days for many of us. But on the other hand, all right, to only focus on the shameful and regrettable ways our nation has acted and continues to act in some cases still today in the world as though there's no good, within our vision, in our history, and in the promise of what we stand for, well, that's not all that helpful either. The great pastor of Riverside Church in New York, William Sloane Coffin, he once wrote, "There are three kinds of patriots. Two bad, one good." There are three kinds of patriots. Two bad, one good. The bad ones are the uncritical lovers and the loveless critics. But the good patriots carry on a lover's quarrel with their country. There are three kinds of patriots, two bad, one good. The bad ones are the uncritical lovers and the loveless critics, right and left, right? Extremes, rights and lefts. The good patriots carry on a lover's quarrel with their country. That's where we need to reside, always. In the midst of that lover's quarrel with this great nation, we've made mistakes. Yeah, we're continuing to make them, but we should also recognize that we have and have still so much to offer the world in the perspective of people who know and love and fought for and continue to fight for and sacrifice for the greatest of all things, freedom. It's still real. It's still alive. Don't lose that sense. In fact, for those who might feel uncomfortable about this holiday even being mentioned in the midst of worship, I'll argue, really, that we bring the founding truth of what we celebrate on the 4th of July into our worship service really almost every single week, to be honest. 1 Timothy sums it up with that vision of hope that all people may live quiet, peaceable lives with dignity. Those words remind me of a similar phrase once written, once drafted on parchment around July 4th, 1776, that we've never really lived up to, but there's still hope. It's those words, we believe that all men, all people are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Quiet, peaceable lives filled with dignity, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Very similar expressions, very similar hopes, and freedom lies at the heart of them both. Now, don't get me wrong, Mike. I'm in no way equating the gospel of the Jesus way with patriotism in this nation or in any nation for that matter. For as those who stand in the line of Christianity, we belong first and foremost to a prophetic vocation that transcends all national boundaries. And we should have the responsibility to lift up the values of the realm of God over and above the realm of empire, and call all nations to honor their best values in light of those principles. And besides, we're told, what are we told? God so loved the world, right? God so loved the world, not parts of the world, but the world, and that includes us as well as it includes other nations and peoples that we share this world with. That is first and foremost. I'm also not saying, surely, that all intentions were pure in drafting the Declaration of Independence. as it was undoubtedly wedded to a particular historical context, ripe with the injustice of discrimination in terms of race especially and gender. You know, this we know, and we should be honest about that, as Frederick Douglass encourages us to be. But the words drafted on parchment, you know, some 200 and however many, I'm not going to try to do the math, over 200 years ago. Well, there's no, those of you that were here last week, you get this. There's no denying that those words espouse a vision of the world that is somewhat close to that radical vision of freedom espoused by the Gospels, even if we do fall short. And we do. We often forget or at times ignore just how radical of a document, you know, the Declaration of Independence was, and those words of freedom and equality. We forget how important they were in their time, regardless of how they have or have not been lived out.
247.
Thank you. There's my conscience and my mathematician. So this week, my friends, you know, on the 4th of July, tomorrow into Tuesday, it's a great day to remember that fact of what this nation stands for, what the Gospels stand for, and where they align. And it's a great time to be neither a loveless critic or to be an uncritical lover, but to always be in the midst of that lover's quarrel with the country we love and that we just want to see get even better. You know? So let us heed that radical idea and strive for the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness for all people in our world. Let us heed the radical idea from the Gospels that envision all people living a peaceable life chock full of human dignity. Let us continue to fight for the freedoms of those here in our nation and around the world to live with equity and equality and the fullness of human rights and the chance to live in peace. And finally, let us never give up hope that we can be a better people, that we can be a better nation, that togetherness is not just some utopian ideal, but rather a true reality that we can strive for. That's what this day means to me. As Abraham Lincoln once said, in a time when the nation was pretty divided, issues were pulling us apart, the Civil War was roaring, when really things seemed about as bleak as they can get in the future. He said, quote, "I am loath to close. We are not enemies, but friends. We must not be enemies. Though passion may have strained, it must not break our bonds of affection. The mystic cords of memory stretching from every battlefield and patriot grave to every living heart and hearthstone all over this broad land will yet swell the chorus of the Union when again touched, as surely they will be, by the better angels of our nature." End quote. The great Abraham Lincoln. So I say to you on this 4th of July weekend, may our better angels shine forth in powerful ways into our own unfolding future, but let us never, ever give up the fight for the equity, equality, and the freedom for all people. I wish you a blessed and again a safe digits 4th of July holiday, my friends. Amen to you. Have a great time. Celebrate fully, but never give up hope and never give up the fight. Amen, amen, and a woman. Let's just stay seated and sing a beautiful song. We all know this. This is my song. Before we join together at the table in a time of communion. beautiful, beautiful song. Hey, before we join one another at the table for a time of communion, I just want to share some joys and concerns. Starting with some concerns, continue to hold Ellery Albrecht Subi in your hearts and prayers. Ellery and Cliff. Ellery ended up having a quadruple bypass last Monday. Ellery's online. Hey, Ellery, how you doing? We're thinking of you this day. He's at home. He was in the hospital till Friday, and he is at home right now recovering, hopefully walking a lot and getting up and moving. I've had a couple texts from him this morning and hoping that he is doing fine and not running Cliff too ragged yet, though I'm sure that's going to happen. So, Cliff, we hold you as well in our hearts and prayers in this time. Ellery and Cliff, we love you guys, and can't wait to see you back here when the time is right, when the healing has let you come back. So hold them in your hearts and prayers. Hold Elfriede Jopp in your hearts and prayers. She is with us somewhere in this space today. She's right back here. Spent some more time in the hospital this week with some AFib issues. Things were a little touchy at times, but they've got things better right now, and they're hoping they stay that way. Had a heart cath. And just hoping that now you're good. You're going to maintain and stay at home and no more hospital stays. So I know Frank's rooting for that too. So we're thinking about you, Elfriede and Frank, and Carol, your daughter, as well during this time. So keep on that great healing. Continue to hold Lois and Catherine Kavanaugh in your hearts and prayers on the death of their beloved Preston. They're going to be taken off pretty quick. I think next week, July 20th, they leave to move up north. To be up in Massachusetts. I think is it Cape Cod? No, not Cape Cod. It's Nantucket. One of those really nice places. So we're gonna miss them, but we know they're gonna be living a nice life up there. That's where Catherine lives. So Catherine and Lois, I'm gonna see you this week, I know, but we know we're thinking about you and holding you in our hearts and the loss of a good man, good gentle man in Preston. So many of us will miss him here. We talked about Preston socks. I just heard last week. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Are you channeling your inner Preston today, Carl, with your socks? Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Maybe we'll have wear some colorful socks for Preston Day coming up soon. So, hold the Kavanaughs in your hearts and prayers, and hold Pam Stiers in your hearts and prayers. Pam fell yesterday. I think it was yesterday, and she's going in for some tests today to make sure nothing's broken. And that she's okay, and
he said no broken bones.
No broken bones. That's good news. So hopefully just a little sore, and we'll recover fast and get back with us. So Chuck and Pam, I know Chuck said we'll be online, so we're thinking of you guys this day. I want to celebrate a few joys. We got some birthdays. We got Ruth Ann Richwine had a birthday on Tuesday. We celebrate you, Ruth Ann. I know you're online. Lisa Popovich is online with us and celebrated a 70th birthday on Friday of this, or Thursday or Friday this past week. I think it was Thursday, and we are delighted to celebrate with you, Lisa, for your 70th birthday. Our own Casey Cochran celebrates a birthday this week on Thursday. Casey's going to be 65. Casey's turning 20, so happy birthday to Casey. We're happy for you, man. Social Security, Medicare, coming soon, Casey. No, young man, you have a happy birthday. We know that. And also, final joy, and for anybody with birthdays and anniversaries that I don't know about, I wish you a happiest birthday and anniversary as well. And finally, 128 pounds of food last week you all donated to Dunedin Cares. That's a nice big amount. Hopefully a bunch of those were Nature Valley granola bars. We keep with our Nature Valley, the official snack of Faith United Church of Christ, the Nature Valley granola bar. So talk to me if you want to know what that means. I'll be happy to share the story. Will you join me in our communion litany as we come together at the table on this first Sunday in July? We come together and I want to say before we start litany, all are welcome. That's the way our table should be. Every communion table should be that way. All are welcome at this table. Please come forward in the center aisle. We have bread for you, gluten-free bread in the center. And we'll have juice over on the sides here in little baskets to deposit your cup. Oh my God, it sounds so... To leave your cups in. This is what we've turned Jesus' Last Supper into, for God's sakes. At least we're not to those take-to-go cups yet, where they have a little packaged wafer and wine. Now, I hope we never get there. Let's not get there, folks. Let's just not get there. We survived COVID without those, so I think we're doing all right. So we'll have, so you can leave your cups over there and just go back and enjoy a time of silent prayer or communing with your neighbor. However, this time is special for you. But all are welcome, and if you're not comfortable coming forward or unable, Diane is going to be our floater. She's in the blue here, and she will come right to you and serve you right to where you are. But all are welcome. We come together at this table of remembrance with all our differences, with all the various stories that we have to tell. Our differences make us stronger when we realize that the thing that we share is that we experience God, the essence of life, the spirit of mystery somewhere in our lives, and our encounters with and in the world. Will you join me? In gratitude, we remember the Spirit of Jesus, his words, his deeds, his pathways of living. In gratitude, we remember the friends who have shared and will share our experiences of the wonders of our world. In gratitude, we remember those who need our passion and help, and the creative energy of God, which impels that compassion. May this gratitude extend to action to make the world a better place to live, action to help our neighbors as well as strangers, action to bring into consciousness the spirit of life, the hope of peace, the source of all. Share this bread and this fruit of the earth as we share the fruit of the Spirit, as Jesus shared the breads and fruits with his disciples and friends. Today, as we gather for communion in this sacred place, we do so remembering how Jesus ate with his friends so many times. It didn't just happen once, they did it all the time. And they would eat and they would talk, and often asking questions and wondering about the God experience. And on that last night together, after their conversation at the table, well, Jesus took some bread and he blessed it and he broke it with his friends, saying, "Take and eat. This is my body, which is given for you. Oh, do this remembering me." Then Jesus, being the wine connoisseur that he was, well, he took a cup of wine and he gave thanks and he passed it to his disciples, saying, "Drink this, all of you. This is the cup of the new covenant of love. Whenever you drink of this cup, do so remembering me." Will you join me in a little deeper moment of centering and prayer? Well, since ancient times, people have gathered together to celebrate the living presence of the Spirit of Christ, the Christ in their midst, and breaking bread together and sharing wine and as a symbol of love and peace and remembrance. So we also come together on this day, just as they did long ago, maybe perhaps to catch a glimpse of the kingdom of God that Jesus so often spoke about. And it was a vision of equality and equity. We're all eat together and we're all enjoy the breads and fruits of the earth in abundance. We're all who are loved just for being who they are. So may this shared act of communion inspire us toward more wholeness and remind us of our common humanity. And even as we come together to share this meal, though, we do so recognizing that all is not harmony and peace, but that so many in our families and or among ourselves or our loved ones or friends, and also those in our world are in pain and suffering. And so let us just take a moment, and I just want to invite you to say a name a prayer, name a person or a place in our world aloud, something that's on your heart. And let's just lift them into the sacredness of this time and into this space in the midst of this collective prayer together.
Sonny, Susan, Robert, Sasha,
Gilbert,
Norm, Patrick, Jared, Sandy,
May all those that we have lifted into this space, and of course those that we hold so close to us in the silence of our hearts, may they find the support and the presence to weather the hard times. And may we be bearers of hope amidst the struggles, the suffering, and the pain. Peace be with all of us and our loved ones and our communal and global neighbors amidst the struggles that they are enduring. And may gratitude also shine from within us, especially on this weekend. May we carry our joys into a new week and find a sense of courage to live another day with appreciation and always with a sense of freedom and peace. I wonder if you'll join me now in praying that ancient prayer that our brother Jesus asked us to pray from those hillsides long ago. We call it the Lord's Prayer, but please choose your most cherished image, whether that be mother or father or creator, whatever is meaningful to you in this time. Will you join me in the Lord's Prayer? Our Creator, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen, amen, and amen. Why don't we rise up in body or spirit before we come forward to the table for communion and sing this beautiful song. I think this is a great song for 4th of July weekend because it's really the heart of what this nation should stand for, serving our sisters and brothers. So let's stand up. Won't you let me be your servant? And towards the end of the song, please feel free to come forward. The table is ready. You all have some eat more bread afterwards. Promise me you will. There's plenty here to go around. You join me in our prayer of thanksgiving. May we be as living loaves. Peace be among us all in this beautiful world and among all creation. Amen. Hey, a couple of announcements before we go enjoy a time of hospitality. Marge Miller, come on up. Or come on down. Elizabeth as well.
We're partners. We're partners in crime. Well, hello. So at one point last May, the Anamkara Women's Circle decided that after a busy year of programs, we were going to take a summer hiatus. Well, apparently that isn't happening. Last week, I announced that Connie and I will be teaching Mahjong on Mondays at 2 p.m. starting July 10th. The sign-up sheet is in the gathering space. I saw there are already about 10 people signed up. And luckily, and really amazingly, Lori Walker was helping her friend move the mother out to a memory care center, and the mother was an avid Mahjong player. with lots and lots of mahjong sets and tchotchkes. And she was looking for, she didn't know what she was going to do with all these sets. And then she found out about our mahjong lessons, and she donated all these sets and tchotchkes to us. So that's really wonderful, yeah. So come and learn and play and kibitz. Then along came another event that sounded very interesting and too good to pass up. So we are offering it to everyone here. On Sunday, August 5th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., there will be a day retreat at the beautiful Riverside Franciscan Center in Tampa. The topic is Bridget of Ireland, Goddess and Saint. Some of you may remember that Barbara Turner Delisle did a very enlightening sermon on Saint Bridget back in March. This day retreat is being led by Episcopal Reverend Janice M. Lowell. Here is what the flyer says about this program. We will spend the day with Bridget, who seamlessly transitioned from a Celtic goddess to a Christian saint. We'll engage with Bridget's many facets, exploring her in story, music, art, and spirit. After lunch, there will be a time for reflection, contemplation, and creative arts. The cost is $25. Just bring your own lunch. And if you'd like to join us, you'll need to sign up on the sheet in the gathering space, and I will register us as a group so that you won't have to register individually. And we'll try to arrange carpools as needed. And since this retreat is the first Saturday in August, where we usually have the Together Women Rise program, we will be postponing that event so that you may attend this event. So another big happening at Faith UCC is that the work is going to begin on the Labyrinth on Monday morning, 8 a.m. on July 10th. So 2 groundbreaking events, Mahjong and a Labyrinth. Lisbeth is leading our fundraising efforts to pay for the gravel and the path, and here she is.
Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be back and standing and walking in here. I came to talk about bricks and labyrinths. And during my 9 weeks of doing absolutely nothing, I created a brick and a labyrinth to give you when you give me $25 to buy a brick for the labyrinth. So I have bricks and labyrinth rewards for you. We're selling bricks. How many bricks do we need?
200.
We need to sell 200 bricks. So I'll be around for a very long time, not necessarily all today, selling you bricks and labyrinths. Please join me. I'll be out in the hospitality room, and I'll be moseying in and out with this project until we get it done. I'm so very proud of all of you and all of your support and everything you've done to make the Labyrinth project a reality. There are many of us that are already walking every Saturday, and we hope you'll all join us when we're done. Thank you. They're $25. We got that.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. That's really exciting. Thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Marge. Yeah. We'll go back to, go back for just a second on that one. The Labyrinth is really, really cool. If you've never walked a Labyrinth, it's an inner tool. It's a path to transformation. It's a prayerful, contemplative experience, and it's really meaningful when you just give it a shot and go out and do it. Every great retreat center has a Labyrinth, so we're going to join in that model. And I've always had kind of a vision here of us not just being a church for Sundays, but maybe being something bigger than that. We'll always be a church for Sundays, a spiritual community for Sundays, but what else could we be during the week? And a spiritual center, exactly like the CAC or Ghost Ranch, or even up in Ocala. If you've ever been to the retreat center, Disciples Retreat Center in Ocala, they have a beautiful labyrinth up there. I've walked it several times when I've been up there for some conferences. So, what can we become next? Is this the anchor for something bigger coming here, where we could do lectures and art series and things? People would love to come to Dunedin, Florida, right? to stay here, to walk the beach, to do all the other things, but then we could be the hub of that activity. So the Labyrinth is a big part of that. So I thank you all for helping to lead this. And yeah, we want to decorate it and have it looking really beautiful. So buy a brick. See Elizabeth, and if you can, if you have a chance to, go ahead and get a brick and help us beautify this space. And I can't wait to see all of you walk it. And we will do a cool groundbreaking on it eventually. So thank you for that. Now we got important matters. We got lunch. I know you all want to get out of here. We got lunch. It's a holiday weekend. Country Boy, anybody want to go to Country Boy? I think just raise your hand and she'll get a count for a reservation. 8, 9, maybe another one, 9. I'd make it for 10. You'll end up with 10. And who doesn't want to go to Country Boy? I mean, come on. Country Boy, I heard it's pretty good. Have I been? No, Barry, I met you at the Country Boy one time. That's right. That might be the one time I went there, but it was really good. So I remember. So check it out. Go have a good time with folks having lunch today. I want to say thank you for your incredible generosity. You give so much. Your giving helps us do Labyrinths and be a place with banned book libraries and a place that flies a pride flag that was so important in the month of June, and it's so important with what's going on now. Your support helps us be that voice of love in the world, and I just want to say thank you for your incredible generosity. If you're visiting, you're online in here, and you'd like to make a donation, we do have plates in person on the back table. We don't pass those anymore, but they are back there, and if you're online with us, just go to our website and click on the Give link, and you can go to PayPal and Vanco and do it right there. I think you can even scan that cool QR code, and it'll take you right to our website as well. So thank you for your incredible generosity. Hey, why don't we rise up and bow to your spirit? And I just want to say I wish you a blessed 4th of July holiday before we sing our peace song out of here. Have a great time. Keep all your fingers. Do all this. If you're traveling, be safe on the roads out there. Come back to us next Sunday. And if you're going away like Linda for the next 2 months, be safe, have fun, and we'll miss you while you're gone. So happy 4th of July, everybody. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin right here with us. Let's go! Happy 4th of July, everybody. Go in peace. Love one another. Amen.
Push this from the other side of that. No, right there, right there. There's a clip on this side of it. Put your thumb up higher. Push against the clip.
Like this?
The other side, though. Same thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Sorry.
That's all right. Thanks.
you.